Hello, this is Patricia, and I'm really excited to share my first video as part of the Team Richard Goodeye Make Amazing Design team. I am a memory keeper who loves to also make cards and DIY items. Being a memory keeper and creating lots of scrapbook layouts, I love to incorporate the trends into my work. One trend that has been around for a while is to die cut your background and then place pattern papers behind the cut, backing your die cut. I trimmed 1/4 of an inch on two sides of my white background to fit on the 8.5 by 11 brown background. This creates a nice contrast and a base for my layout. It takes a little more time to line up your die, but the end result gives you that wonderful steel die look. I cannot draw a straight line for anything, so I finally use a ruled mat to help me. I use washi tape to help me keep my background in place as I draw my lines. My circle die that I'm using is 2 inches, so I can get 3 across my page and will create 3 rows. I make sure to mark the left and the right side of where the circle die will fit. For my bottom line, I just make sure that the circle die will fit within the space. Because I scrapbook in both 8.5 by 11 and 12 by 12, I'm excited that I can use the Fun Stampers Platinum die cutting machine to send this 8.5 by 11 background through the machine. This really opens up the door to so many possibilities using steel dies and scrapbooking. This would be pretty using the different sizes of the circles to create a very unique background, or in this case, the grid that I'm using. Now to use the Fun Stampers Platinum. I have my platform that has the magnets on one side, and I will use that to help me keep my circles in place. I line the circle die in between that left and right lines that I had created and against the bottom line. I continue this for each circle, and I'm not concerned about the perfection in the spacing of the circles as I am just that they line up. It is important as I start the next row that I line up the circle die to the bottom line. This will be my guide for this row and for the last row. Having my lines marked already really made this easy to do. Now it's time to erase those pencil lines, and I strongly recommend using a big eraser as opposed to your pencil eraser. I die cut the word love to use also as the same technique so the brown shows through. I have some patterned papers in roughly about 2 inches, and I have some photos that I printed at 2-inch squares. Now I'm going to start adhering these to the back using just a little bit of adhesive, and I will line up these images and place them behind my cuts. This layout is all about the love of ice cream and specifically Baskin Robbins for my daughter. And we go not just for special occasions, we go after school or we just go on a weekend. And we go pretty often, and they know her so well that sometimes as soon as we pull up, they already have her cup of ice cream and sprinkles ready for her. So I picked colors that really complemented the whole mood and feel of going to get ice cream, and the celebrations line was perfect for this. I really like the threes that are going on. I have 3 circles with photos, 3 with pattern paper, and now I decided I'm going to leave 3 showing the brown. So I moved one of the pattern paper backgrounds to a different circle. So now I will adhere this all to my brown background cardstock. My white cardstock has too much adhesive to send through my typewriter, so I'll have to send this entire layout through my typewriter, but very carefully because of all those cuts that can catch on the carriage there. And it will curl my layout a little bit, but once I take it out and flatten it out, it will lie flat again. After I erase the pencil lines, I use my sewing machine to create a stitched title box. This is another trend that I really love to do, and it emphasizes my journaling. I create a little nest with the leftover tail of the thread, and I used an enamel shape to hold that in place. Because this is an ice cream layout with sprinkles, I decided to use some vellum to create a little sequence pocket. I sewed the 3 sides of it, leaving the one side open to add the sprinkles, but I also want to add an enamel shape here. So I used some baby powder and my paintbrush to just get that stickiness off of the back. So now this enamel dot can act like a sequence inside the pocket. Now to go to the sewing machine, and I stitched a line to close it, but I stitched another line to make this pocket just a little bit smaller and then trimmed it. Now I want to use this just because sentiment. I think it goes perfectly with my daughter's love of ice cream. And I'm inking up each individual word with the whipped cream pigment ink, and then I will emboss this in white. And once that's finished, I will add some adhesive and then attach that to the back of that circle. These flowers that I die cut in white cardstock to layer almost look like snowflakes. I think it goes well with the cold ice cream, so I layer them with some foam adhesive over one of my circles. I also die cut the circles, which are the center of the flowers, to pop dot onto my background. It creates a nice tone on tone and gives my layout a little bit more texture. The middle circle needed a little something on it, so I added some chipboard letters from my stash to complement the playfulness of the layout. And I added another enamel shape at the bottom, and now to finish I will use some Journey glaze on the circles to give them some shine and the look of an embellishment. I love this technique with backing your die cuts because it gives your layout a unique look, creating dimension without bulk. It is a great way to show off pattern papers, photos, and stamping. Thank you so much for joining me.